Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to repair your Keurig K Classic. This is Keurig's most popular Keurig machine. It's been around for a while. So does your Keurig look like this with the three little buttons right here? So has your Keurig stopped working? The simple fix could be that your needles need cleaned. So if you press the brew button and nothing comes out, you may think that something internally has failed, like the pump or something. But what it could be is if your needles, there's a needle here and there's a needle at the top. It's usually the top one that clogs. If those clog, the water pump, I think, senses back pressure and it shuts down immediately. So your machine could shut off and definitely no water is going to come through there. It'll shut the pump off. So again, you may think something really serious is wrong with your machine, but it could be just as simple as cleaning the needles. What we're going to need is a paper clip. A metal paper clip, preferably without the plastic on it. So the first thing we're going to do is turn the machine off and unplug it. Make sure this is nice and cool. First part of the video is we're going to take this lower needle out and then we're going to do the top needle. Okay, so again, be careful. The sharp needle is down in this basket. But we're going to take this whole basket out. And the easiest way I found is to kind of push up from the bottom. There's a hole, and then there's nothing sharp there that's going to get you. And just kind of push up with your finger and then kind of hold it. Again, there's nothing sharp right here. So here we have the needle basket. There's the sharp needle down inside there. So this thing's designed to come apart. There's a seam right here. And what I like to do is kind of grab it like this and just kind of twist. It can be kind of hard. You just kind of snap it apart. They're designed to come apart. Now we're going to look at this piece first. If you've never had this off, you'll be really shocked how dirty this gets inside here with coffee grounds and coffee oils. But these four little holes are important too. If your stream is coming out to the side or splattering a bunch, clean out these holes right here, these four holes. Take this over to the sink, run a bunch of water through here and soap and clean this all up. Next, we've got the lower, this is where the needle is. So I'm going to take my paper clip and I'm going to insert it in this hole right here. Now it's not going to come all the way through. That needle has just enough of an angle on it up here that the paper clip can't go all the way through. But I'm going to press it up and down. You can see the needle, the paper clip right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the sink and I'm going to direct a bunch of water right here while I'm using the paper clip, and that should unclog that and you should get a bunch of water coming out of the paper clip right there. Now the next thing you're going to do is kind of clean this area. It gets kind of gunky. And same with down inside this. You may have some coffee grounds or some oils. Now we're ready to reinstall it. Again, there's these two little ears. You'll see there's these little holes right here on the side. You're going to line those up and it should just snap on. Now it shouldn't turn and it shouldn't pull off. This is very important to get this installed correctly. Now what I tell people is we're going to put this whole basket back in. I tell people you can read the words caution sharp needles, have that towards you, and the needle is towards the machine. And when you do that, these tangs will line up. So you've got two here and this big one, that's what those are for. And then there's this one here and it lines up there. So again, just kind of line it up, get those tangs in their holes. You got to kind of hold this and just push till you hear a snap. Now make sure it's nice and even. Practice closing the handle. If you have to force it, it's not installed correctly and you could break it. These are just plastic hinges and stuff and they break really easy. So be careful. So now we're going to do the top needle. This is probably the one that's clogged. Unfortunately, we cannot remove it. We've got to clean it in place. Okay, so we're going to take our paper clip. Now we got to be careful. When we go up, there's three holes that we're going to be going into and they're kind of tricky to find. There's kind of like a front one, and then there's these two back ones. You might have to put like an angle. Now, when you go up into the needle, there's a plastic hose that connects on the other side of this needle. We don't want to go jamming this up in there. We could poke a hole in that plastic hose, and then you ruin your machine. So just kind of go up till it stops. You can see you can get pretty far, and then I can tell I'm hitting that rubber hose. Work it back and forth. Again, go in the back needle. There's three openings. Get them all nice and clean. Back and forth, back and forth. Then I also want to go side to side. So I can go from one opening to the other. And just keep doing that back and forth. Now this may not unclog it. So maybe you may not see anything come out, but we may have unclogged it. So we need to do a fresh water rinse. So turn the unit back on. Make sure there's not a K-cup here. We're just going to close it. And now we're going to do, you can do either an 8 ounce or a 10 ounce brew. Hopefully water comes out. If water still doesn't come out, just unplug it and do that whole process over again. But there's what a nice clean K Classic should look like when water's coming out. I have had to clean my needles 3 times before I eventually got water to come out. So one of the main reasons needles clog is when you leave a K-cup in here overnight, those coffee grounds kind of get stuck to the needle, and over time that will clog those needles. So just try to remember to take your K-cups out. I hope this video helps. If you could, please like and subscribe.